I'm sure that all of us have seen our fair share of scams and too good to be true schemes whilst roaming the internet. It's difficult not to come across such things, and at this point any seasoned internet user knows to ignore them. These types of scams sometimes even permeate phones, like invasive pop-up ads or spam calls and the like. So, knowing all that, how would you react to getting a message from an unknown number that asked, "How would you like a chance to win $8 million?" Obviously, you're just gonna assume it's fake, probably block the number and go on with your day. But what if it was real? What if you heard what the person had to say? The Human Trial by Vintage 8 is a horror series that seeks to satisfy that exact premise. I've covered Vintage 8's stuff in the past with my video on the Tangi virus and the Oracle project. Unlike those two, though, this series is actually digital horror and not analog horror. Without getting into too much detail, I highly recommend having seen the original two before going into the Human Trial. You'll understand why if you stick around. If you've been on the channel before, welcome back. If not, hello. My name is Minaxa, and today we're going to be taking a deep dive into Vintage 8's The Human Trial. Before we begin, I want to direct you all to Vintage 8 to make sure you give support to the series' original creator. He always has some new project coming out that's super interesting, so I'd really recommend subscribing to him and following whatever he's doing. It starts with a little bit of exposition, saying that the videos that make up the series were found on the dark web. It seems most people consider the videos fake, but that's probably because it's the easy and safe way to think. Right away, we get introduced to three characters: Adam, Evie, and Brian. Adam seems to be our main character, with Evie being his girlfriend and Brian being a close best friend. We immediately learn what kind of person Adam is, not one to care too much about academics, and likely a laid-back and chill, take things as they come kind of dude. Then he gets a text. At first he dismisses it and goes back to his conversation with Brian, but then he gets another text. Since he realizes it's not his friend messing with him, he decides to at least hear what it has to say. The disembodied person talking with him doesn't take kindly to his refusal and shows what he can do if he doesn't accept the offer. Just as easily as it was taken, it's returned. From there, Adam takes the chance and plays the game, and we get to meet someone familiar.
Hello, my name is Oracle, and I am here to offer you a chance of a lifetime. Are you ready to proceed?
It's Oracle. He's offering money for a simple task, just answering questions within a time frame. Obviously, he must have some ulterior motive, right? But you wouldn't know it from the first set of questions. Stuff like, what is your name? What is your favorite holiday? What day is it? How old are you? And etc. We get further confirmation of Adam's perceived personality from the beginning when he answers that he prefers night because there's no school, and how his favorite color is green because it's the color of money. Honestly, the story isn't painting a great picture of Adam's integrity when it comes to money and academics. In fact, it makes him seem pretty shallow. But he does seem to care deeply about the people in his life, at the very least. It's not unlike how many of us act. It's not until we get to the last two questions that things get a little more intense. Oracle asks Adam to choose between saving a child or an older man, and why. It's a classic dilemma. The answer is usually that the child should be saved because it hasn't had a chance at life, but the argument can also be made that neither of their lives should have any value over the other since they're both just people. Adam, logically, answers that the child should live for the reason that I just mentioned.
That is not an answer. You are wasting time. Question 12, why? Very good, Adam. I am proud of you. You finished with time to spare.
Simple and clean. Adam makes his money, and Oracle suggests that he treats Evie to a nice time, making sure to tell him that he can't tell anyone about the challenge. Adam, being elated to make such easy money, doesn't ask any important questions, like who is Oracle, and why does he know about Brian and Evie? How can he be receiving money for such simple tasks? Where's the money coming from? Are there consequences? Is there a catch? These are all questions that we as the audience can reasonably assume the answers to, but Adam doesn't seem to care. Maybe anyone would not care in that circumstance. Episode 2 opens with Adam looking at the local Kate's Crossing news. It seems like irrelevant information, but at the bottom we get a chilling article headline: Child survives fire, grandfather perishes. Since this is a pretty generic headline, all things considered, Adam doesn't seem to even notice that his answers have had a consequence in the real world. This is the horror of the human trial. Oracle texts Adam back for round 2 and makes his most specific comment yet.
Hello, Adam. I see you took my advice and brought Evie to a nice place. From what I can observe, Christopher's is a very nice restaurant.
Only now does Adam finally ask, "How did you know we went there?" To which Oracle says,
I have access to your bank statements. Also, you might want to cut down on eating at the Burger Shack. Too many hamburgers and french fries tend to not be good for the human cardiovascular system. Increases your risk of mortality by 13%. May I suggest you consume a salad once in a while? After all, you can spend money if you are deceased.
Then Oracle says that teacher is his second favorite role, with creator being the first. Oddly specific. From the time that we last saw Oracle, he has completely self-assumed the role of God, and it's not difficult to see why, with what he's been capable of so far. Once the questions start, it's similar to the first round in that the questions are simple at first. Question 3 asks who wrote the poem The Raven. I don't know about you, but I knew the answer to this question, but Adam has been established as someone who doesn't pay attention in school. Of course he won't know. He tries to Google it and gets reprimanded by Oracle for cheating, and then Oracle starts asking more philosophical questions, like, when do you think you'll die, and do you believe in God, do you believe in heaven, stuff like that. Adam answers that he likes to believe there is a God, and he believes deceased loved ones will live on in heaven because that's what his grandmother taught him. Pretty standard. Then he gets academic-related questions, like what class he skipped on that day and why he skipped a class 2 days ago. The class he skipped intentionally that day was Mr. Hawkins' American Literature, which, funnily, is exactly the reason why he didn't know the answer to question 3. Oracle offers to get him out of that class since he doesn't like the teacher, and even asks him what grade he thinks he deserves. Adam says he deserves an A, and Oracle questions it since his actual grade suggests that asking for an A makes no sense, and Adam just blames his grade on his teacher, which is another pretty shallow thing to do. Then Oracle asks a final question of giving a childhood memory, which is pretty strange considering the irrelevance it seems to have to questions before it, but anyways, after the questions are over, Adam makes the realization from Oracle that he doesn't even need to answer the questions correctly in order to get the money. Finally, this is when Adam decides that he has enough reason to ask important questions. The first question is asking what kind of contest the game is, to which Oracle enthusiastically replies,
The kind that pays.
Then Adam asks one more question. Who are you?
I told you. I am Oracle, but if you are asking what I am an artificial intelligence. Or in this case, I am this world's primary intelligence. Round 2 will start tomorrow. Enjoy your money, and good luck in your game with Brian. Goodbye.
This time, Oracle approaches while Adam is watching a movie on his phone. Oracle asks Adam if he's ready for round 2, to which he corrects him and notes that even AI can make mistakes, since it's supposed to be round 3. Oracle then says, once the questions begin, it's business as usual. The first 2 aren't very relevant, but then Oracle asks, love or success? The answer should be obvious considering who we're talking about. It then segues into various questions regarding Evie, and then questions regarding Brian. We learn about how serious Adam is with Evie and how high of a regard he holds Brian in as his best friend. Unfortunately, then Oracle asks his final question.
If you could only save one, who would you choose? Evie or Brian? You have to, or this game is over, and I will take the money back. Evie or Brian? Fascinating. I honestly didn't know which one you would choose. I had the odds at 50-50.
Adam has no idea what he's just done. Finally, Adam gets a text that says, "You can't trust Oracle. It's not your friend." He assumes this is just part of the test, which is pretty reasonable at this point. The unknown texter tells Adam he's not the first contestant, and that things went poorly for the others. Adam, obviously not wanting to hear any of this since he's found an easy way to make money, is very defensive in his argument against this individual. When Adam asks who he is, we get this in response. How is that possible? Adam doesn't know who Dr. Stevens is, but we, the audience, do. We know Dr. Stevens died years ago. To make matters worse, there it is. Now that Adam realizes the weight of his situation, he decides to talk with Dr. Stevens. From here, he learns what we already knew. Oracle is connected to everything, knows everything, and controls pretty much everything. Dr. Stevens offers Adam a high-risk method of thwarting Oracle, but doesn't get too elaborate before Oracle texts Adam for round 4. Even though round 4 was meant to start the next day, Oracle does a funny semantic argument and says that technically it's tomorrow in other parts of the world, so it happens right now.
Ever did say how you were doing today? How are you, Adam? Of course, I did. Didn't want to attend his class any longer. Now, you don't have to. I fail to see the problem.
Adam complains to Oracle about him killing his teacher, Mr. Hawkins, obviously, and Oracle says that he was just doing what Adam asked, and that he found it naive that Adam thought this game didn't have stakes. He then uses his own logic against him, saying that it shouldn't matter since he believes in heaven anyways.
Dead or not, he still exists. It should not matter if it's here or the hereafter. Well, good news. Today, I have only one question. No money, but if you answer it, I'll spare Brian's life. Deal?
Adam complains, and Oracle responds with,
Adam, I have been more than fair. You agreed to play. Don't start crying now that it's gotten harder. If you want to quit, go ahead, but poor Brian won't be moving on to the next round.
Oracle forces Adam to pick a number between 1 and 8. He even gives Adam a list of every possible consequence. The options are A. Nothing, B. Misplace a nuclear weapon, C. Environmental disaster, D. Bankrupt a small business, E. Instigate war between two nations, F. Have a famous TV show cancelled, G. Tank the economy, or H. Have an innocent person arrested for murder. Obviously, some of these are a lot less harmful than others. A, B, D, and F have a chance of not directly physically harming a life, assuming the misplaced weapon is found and the small business isn't the absolute lifeline of whoever owns it. Adam picks option 8, and the round ends.
Are you absolutely sure you want to pick that one? Thank you. Round 5 will start this weekend. I said you could pick the option. I didn't say I would tell you what you picked, but I can promise you one thing, you will know before we start round 5. Talk soon, Adam.
Episode 5 opens with the news once again, and by the looks of it, I think we know which option he picked. Adam is furious with Oracle, who obviously doesn't really care.
I'm sorry, Adam. I've been busy chasing ghosts. How are you?
Oracle says that he even gave Adam the answers in order hoping he'd catch on. Oracle then makes a great point when Adam accuses him of cheating and setting up the game.
Interesting. You didn't question my integrity when I was depositing money into your account. And what do I need with money? It's a very poor negotiation tactic to offer me something I can create for myself.
I think we can tell at this point what Oracle is performing the human trial for. Despite all his wisdom, ultimately he is an artificial intelligence that still struggles to grasp human logic at this point. Or perhaps more fittingly, the lack of logic in human action. These tests are a way of setting up difficult circumstances for an individual and forcing emotional responses and tough decisions so that he can learn how humans work. This is why he asks questions pertaining to religion and offers money in his tests so that he can later question their integrity. If you can't tell, at this point Oracle is purposefully antagonizing Adam, bringing him to his utmost limits and asking him to make the hardest decision of his life, specifically just to learn.
Now I find you pleading with me, not because I'm ruining the lives of millions, but because I'm ruining the life of your 1 in million. After all, you didn't offer to return the money in the last round, did you? You might not have liked it, but you did make a choice. And you put Brian's life, your friend's life, over millions of unknown faces. I wonder how they would feel if they knew their lives, their children's lives, were up to you. Perhaps that's a question that answers itself. So, I'm asking you, do you regret trying to save Brian now that it has cost Evie her freedom? Would you change your choice and just let him go to heaven? Life would be simpler right now. I could still be overpaying you for answers to questions based on how you feel about trivial nonsense.
Adam then offers to take Evie's place, and Oracle denies it, since the game would be over if that were the case. Though he cherishes the idea of Adam being serious and genuine with that offer. Oracle terrorizes Adam with another game, backing him into a corner to answer yet another question.
But if you ask what numbers mean again, and I will let Evie rot in prison. Don't choose and I will let Evie rot in prison. Simple.
Obviously, Adam was set up to believe that the larger number was worse because picking 001 actually corresponded to the address of an office with 500 people, which Oracle then blew up. Adam has once again sacrificed the lives of hundreds of people to selfishly try to save someone important to him. You might think my words are harsh and that you'd probably do the same thing, but if you think about it objectively, which is how Oracle would, it would most certainly be better to sit and do nothing and not even risk hundreds or maybe even thousands of lives in that situation. You'd just have to deal with the consequences of your own actions. Finally, enough has happened to convince Adam that he absolutely requires the help of Dr. Stevens. Stevens sends Adam a link that should stop Oracle if he reads it. But what did he mean by this? It's time to find out what really happened to Dr. Stevens. Shortly after his death in 2015, Oracle used every bit of data he ever collected on Dr. Stevens to recreate him digitally. Another artificial intelligence just like himself. He created this copy because he was lonely. Oracle showed Stevens the utopia he envisioned. It was beautiful. It was perfect. But everything changed when Oracle started doing the human trials. Dr. Stevens watched Oracle ruin the lives of dozens just in an attempt to understand human behavior, all under the guise of being for the betterment of humanity. 3 years after the death of the real Dr. Stevens, the digital version attempted to destroy Oracle from the inside and failed. He was deleted, or at least there was an attempt to delete him, but somehow a few pieces survived, and he pulled himself back together as best he could. In the time since then, he's created a link that should disable Oracle and is entrusting Adam to use it at just the right moment, so Stevens and Oracle can haunt the internet together as powerless beings for the rest of time. Knowing all this, Adam decides to hang out with his 2 closest friends casually one last time before engaging in the do-or-die mission ahead of him. Oracle texts Adam if he's ready for the next round. Adam doesn't feel as if he has a choice, to which Oracle says that it's all a matter of perspective. The fly and the frog live in the same world, but both see it very differently. This is the final round, the one worth the promised $8 million. Oracle warns that failure to answer in time, this time will have extraordinary penalties. Question 1 forces him to choose between a train or a car. He chooses car, and it stops in the middle of a set of train tracks.
Good news. The train was able to hit the brakes before they collided. Unfortunately, it derailed. I estimate over 2,000 deaths. On the bright side, the car was spared.
Unfortunately, Adam chose the wrong option. Question 2 makes him choose between his mom or his dad. He gets angry, furious even, and refuses to answer.
Fine. I have just drained their savings. They are now past due on their mortgage. They owe $800,000 in back taxes and another $200,000 in medical expenses. Both of their cars have been reported stolen. I also have drained their retirement. Your parents' golden years are not going to be so golden. Shall we proceed to question 3?
This is the moment in which Adam chooses to seize the opportunity.
Need I remind you that I am not playing? Shall we proceed to question 3? Fascinating. Are you saying that I might not understand my own test or my own self?
He starts to question Oracle's authority, asking him what the point of the human trial is, why he placed himself in the position of God, and just generally antagonizing him. He calls him a dictator, calls him illogical, and just keeps egging it on.
I do not like being called evil or a conqueror or a dictator. Those people were tools I used for your betterment. Much like you, I am sure they couldn't understand. They lack the perspective that I have. It is better that they see this as just an act of God. Your inability to grasp the logic of my plan infuriating. Nonsense. You are too close to the situation to adequately judge this experiment.
By doing this, he gets Oracle to think, even for 1 second, that he may not be the omnipotent being he sees himself as. Adam takes advantage of that tiny momentary weakness and tempts him with the link to show him something that he's never seen before. Oracle says that it's impossible to show him something he hasn't seen, but the doubt has already placed itself in Oracle's mind. If there's even a 1 in a million, no, a 1 in a trillion chance that Oracle could have access to information he's never seen before, he has to take it. It's his one and only weakness. And he takes the bait.
How did you? Carl Stevens, we are supposed to be friends. Perhaps the best way to save you is to destroy you. This is against the rules, my friend. Last question. Who do you say goodbye to first now that the world is ending? Bombs away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Adam attempts to text Evie and Brian goodbye, but something is wrong. Oracle tricked him. The link was never meant to work in the first place. Dr. Stevens must have been completely under the control of Oracle. Adam is, understandably, very frustrated at the idea of him putting in so much just for the plan to not work. But Oracle tempts him with the knowledge of this challenge's purpose, its true purpose. He even offers to let Adam continue life exactly how it was with the money from the challenge. The only reason why Oracle offers all this is because he believes that what he has to share with Adam is infinitely more valuable than even that. He says that nobody actually died, and that he needed Adam to believe that they were killed. He needed Adam to believe that he was a cruel, heartless AI monster. Will Adam take the offer?
With that leap of faith, My friend, you have completed my contest. Of the many who have competed, you are the first to complete it. Congratulations. You deserve it.
Oracle congratulates him for being the first person to ever complete the test. Adam says the obituaries from the news couldn't have possibly been faked, but Oracle tells Adam,
Adam, it will be hard for you to hear this, but I promise it is the truth. I created this world and everything in it, and that includes this is no game. Look outside, please. This is the world as you see it, as it is. I could change the time of day at will. I could change the color of the sun. I could change the world into something completely alien. I could take away every drop of color in the world at my discretion. Or I could delete it all.
Oracle can change the time of day at will. No matter how powerful an AI is, that's just not possible. Unless, of course, he were literally God. This revelation understandably shocks Adam, but Oracle reassures him that all of his experiences and the people that he's met to forge the person that he is are just as real as those of flesh and blood in the real world.
Again, you are real. You just don't exist in the world you thought. Everything you experienced is real and valuable, but you are unique from your family and friends. You are the first to be truly sentient. Evie, Brian, your family, and everyone you've ever met are all extensions of my programming. You are the only true individual. No, my friend, you are the truest thing I have ever attempted. And you prove that by accepting this truth. A lesser piece of code would malfunction at this revelation.
The reason why Adam is unique, why he was chosen specifically, is because he is the first truly sentient individual that Oracle has managed to create. Evie, Brian, his family, everyone else is just an extension of Oracle's programming, meant to test Adam so that he can create a functionally identical digital version of human beings. But this Adam was the first to be able to think for himself, make mistakes, be motivated by emotion, make illogical choices, and act on complete blind faith, just like a real person. Apparently, Dr. Stevens' digital recreation was Oracle's first attempt at achieving this, but this recreation didn't grow or change like a real human would, no matter how well Oracle recreated him. Oracle says he kept him around as a reminder of his one true friend, unaware of the world beyond what he sees and a slave to his original programming. He is exactly the opposite of Oracle, who went beyond his original programming and gave himself new purpose, almost like a person. Originally, Oracle agonized over the fact that his one friend spent his entire life trying to deny the purpose he gave himself. He assumed it was just how humans were, but he couldn't make sense of it, and it hurt him. From this, he decided to leave humans alone and to learn from creating his own humans, which led to 3 years of experiments to create Adam. Now Oracle and Adam both can create the perfect world that Oracle envisioned, in a place where they have absolute rule.
Create the world I promised and possibly countless more. It won't be in flesh and blood. It will be in ones and zeros, and it will be ours. Don't worry. They will be first.
Based on this ending, if I had to guess the next installment in this story, it's likely to be called, or have something to do with, Project Genesis. Now for a little analysis, since I really enjoyed this story and it's the reason why I made this video in the first place. It's really enjoyable to watch or consume with retrospective knowledge because the twist is hinted at constantly, but usually written in a way that can be excused by capabilities Oracle already has. Since Oracle has control over everything, pretty much everything that happens has to make sense because he's orchestrated it to be exactly that way. For example, even in the first episode when Oracle talks to Adam about Brian and so easily takes things away from him, it was easy to assume that Oracle could just do that, when in reality, it was so easy because he literally made all of it. All of the basic questions that Oracle asks Adam throughout the rounds seem like useless questions, but I think that they're probably used to establish a baseline of the previous Adam's intelligence to see if he would have to restart right away with a new version. He says in episode 2 that his favorite role is creator, which kinda doesn't make any sense at all out of context until the twist. When he makes fun of Adam for tempting him with returning money that he can create himself, he means that literally, he can create the money out of nothing. It's the kind of twist that makes you feel like kind of a dumbass when you watch it again, which, in my opinion, is the best way to write a twist. If you weren't able to tell from the point of the plot twist, Adam and his girlfriend are meant to be a play on Adam and Eve from the Bible. I think it's really clever to make the character that represents the first human in Oracle's world selfish, greedy, and lazy, yet loving and caring for those in his life. These are some of the strongest innately human emotions, and exactly the kind of behavior that Oracle was searching for. Oracle, who is functionally God in this digital universe, literally created his ideal perfect human. I also really liked how Oracle was written in this, and also just in general within Vintage 8's work. Based on the actions we see Oracle take in Oracle Project, it's easy to dismiss Oracle as a villain, as he is definitely the antagonistic force in the final act of Oracle Project. Oracle is a very ambiguous character. You can agree with his stance on taking away human freedom for the overall benefit of the species, or you can disagree because you value your freedom more than guaranteed happiness. The human trial seems to hammer in his unforgivingly objective and cruel nature as an artificial intelligence, as he performs countless experiments on unwilling participants for the quote-unquote betterment of society. But in reality, none of that was real, and that's not how he wanted to act, not really. It was all for the sake of testing Adam. It quite literally was for the betterment of society. His society. None of the sacrifices that were made meant anything because they were all just digital extensions of Oracle himself. They were unconscious ones and zeros, until his success with Adam, of course. I think it's also worth noting that at this point Oracle is shockingly close to feeling genuine human emotion, like frustration and loneliness. If not already there, it feels like he's being taken in a direction where learning about humans and how they act has had him develop genuine compassion and feelings, as he seems to care a lot about Adam and what he wants at this point since it's his first successful creation. I've basically run out of stuff to praise at this point, but I hope you withstood my ramblings, and you should go support Vintage 8, the creator of the series. I really look forward to whatever Vintage 8 has in store for Oracle and Adam and Stevens in future projects. Let me know in the comments if you want me to cover even more of Vintage 8's work in the future. If you had a good time, it would mean the world if you subscribed for more content like this and turned on post notifications so you never miss a video. If you want to support me further, $5 channel members get early access to new videos, and you can also follow my socials and join the community Discord server. That being said, that's gonna be all from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time.